In the last video, step 4, I showed you how a robot moves. But how is it possible to coordinate and control so many servos? Let's talk about animatronics control. The purpose of this video is to guide animatronics enthusiasts how to move the face of a humanoid or an entire robot. What is the best animatronics control, which is easy to program, simple and intuitive? How to move many servos at the same time, but at different speeds and different paths. How to acquire audio files to make the robot speak automatically. I recommend VSA, Visual Show Automation by Brookshire Software Elk. It moves up to 128 devices at the same time. It can move servo motors, relays, DC motors. It connects to the Arduino Uno or Arduino Mega board depending on the amount of servo motors you intend to use. The price of VSA is very affordable, $86, and I assure you that it is money well spent, and it includes the sketch to install on Arduino. Once the VSA program and the Arduino program are installed, start VSA. Click on the gear at the top. The settings window opens. Let's try to make the robot's eyes move. Let's start by setting the port. I have the COM port 13. Second, let's give the right name to each servo motor. Without too many turns of phrase, I'll show you in practice what you have to do. And each servo motor must correspond to a different color. This is important to not confuse in the graphics, one servo for another. In correspondence with the first servo motor, we create an event. Create 3 segments by clicking with the mouse. Now to give them the values, go down on the blue line and click with the left mouse. A series of numbers will appear. Click the number corresponding to the servo. These points will appear where the values are all 0. We are going to modify them, giving them ramps and times to our liking. Double-clicking on the segment, a window opens where you can modify the values. The important thing is that the start value of the first segment must correspond to the stop of the third segment. If you do not do this, the servo will never return to the same position. Here you can move the virtual servo and change the values, or from stop position. The beauty of this program is that you can easily vary the event, moving the segments as you like, and immediately see the result. Based on how you have positioned the arm on the servo motor that moves the mechanics, you must vary the default value. You will find out the exact value by doing some tests. In my case, I have these values. With the real values of the servo motor, this is the new graphics of my servo motor that will move the eyelids of my robot. The blue line has moved lower. As you can see, the servo starts in one position and ends in another position, and this is not possible. In start position the value is 40. And in the last segment, the stop position must be 40. The servo arm for technical reasons is not positioned at 0, but at 40, and that's why at the top we have more margin of movement, while at the bottom it is less. Let's see the result. The left eyelid opens and closes, and returns to normal. Now let's make the eyelids and eyes move, doing more or less the same things. The eyelids of the right eye and those of the left eye must move together. Let's zoom in to work better. So the green event and the orange event must be synchronized. Let's start the timeline and see the result. To import an audio track to make the robot's mouth move, click on the gear symbol at the top. The settings window will open. Click on the top where the word audio is written. Then click on the word add and click on the rectangle with the 3 dots. And let's go and look for our audio file. So let's click the file and at the bottom right OK. And here is our audio file at the bottom in red. Now let's go to the top left Tools window, click Wave Motion Analysis. This generates the commands for the movement of the mouth. At the track text, enter the number of the servo that moves the mouth. In my case it is servo number 6. We can intervene manually to increase the movement of the mouth. Or we can go back to the previous window and change the values and raise the max value. As you can see from the grid that refers to the servo values, the maximum values have increased. It is better to bring the values that go outside the grid back inside, to the maximum value that the servo can achieve, and no more. This is the complete program to move 30 servo motors.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by asleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to.